And we're live.
Hey, we did it.
Yay.
Nice. Merry Christmas Eve, guys.
Hi.
Tomorrow's
yes.
Christmas Eve, as they say.
As they say.
Boxing Day Eve.
What?
Oh, man.
That's today.
Okay.
Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Oh, or did you say Boxing Day? I heard Oxen Day. I'm like, what the heck's Oxen
No.
Day?
It's the day
Didn't
we
realize you were
exchange
just
oxes.
really into cattle.
Yeah.
Who isn't, right?
Yeah.
If we really think about it.
I guess you're right. I haven't thought fully about it.
Have you guys been doing Christmas stuff with the family at all?
Nope.
My family only came up Tuesday. They only got in here Tuesday, and I'm gonna see them Christmas Day.
Nice.
Nice. Right on. Oh, you, Paul, you got Christmas plans?
Traveling tomorrow after work. Be back Sunday at some point. I mean, God willing, if the roads are okay, because they are garbage tonight.
Oh no, they were trash today for
They're
sure.
very
I don't think
bad.
there's any more snow in the forecast for the next couple days, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So
I did have to drive my girlfriend to the airport, and it started snowing just as I was leaving. So the blizzard hit as I was driving back. Fun.
Yep. Fun.
Stop making loud plastic adjusting noises here in a minute.
Paul, that's Edmonton you're going to, I'm assuming?
Yeah, driving up to Edmonton.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, what have you guys been doing this last week?
Work.
Folding these things.
Which is what?
These are box protectors for console games. So, like a Super Nintendo or N64 box fits in this thing. I ordered a box of them, or like a giant bag of them, like the other day, and they showed up yesterday. So I'm like, okay, well, guess I'm doing plastic origami for the next little bit.
Sure, you can't let them deteriorate. Got to get that museum quality.
I mean, well, it's not even the museum quality as much as the fact that like it makes them way easier to store. Like a bunch of the SNES games I got were like rental copies, so their boxes are just dented in completely. So they just like some are like lie perfectly flat, and some are just like here's a weird misshapen form. So these things keep them pretty uniform.
Nice, right on. And did you get like a bunch of like different sizes and shapes?
Yeah, so that's the Super Nintendo N64. This is NES.
I'm assuming you didn't get it for ones that are in like DVD cases.
No. You can get those, but the majority of those I feel like I don't need at the moment. I'm sure that'll happen at some point, but these are like Game Boy and Virtual Boy and Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
Cool.
Okay. Right on. Yeah, I would assume that's a little bit of overkill. Once it's in like a case, a plastic case.
It depends. Like I've got some games that are just like, oh yeah, you're worth a couple $100. Maybe I should try to keep you safe. But then there's like, I don't think my copy of NHL 2003 really needs one at the moment.
Yeah. Right.
Sure. I do regret as a kid having thrown away all my Game Boy boxes. I have none of those.
I'm mad my parents threw them away. I think they did it when I was gone to school one day because it was taking up too much space.
It would have definitely taken up too much space. I also carried all my Game Boy, like they were all like in a fanny pack. And I didn't ever wear the fanny pack, but that's just how I transported all my Game Boy games.
Sure.
No, I get you on that. I had like an over-the-shoulder bag. Like it just had like a little strap, and then it was like a little square, a giant square that just had Game Boy on it, and you just zipped it up. It had like a spot for the games and the battery pack and everything. It was great.
Nice.
I've seen those for the Switch, and they're about the size of a Switch case. So it's a shoulder bag that all you can carry is a Switch. I think that ridiculous.
Kind of sucks. That's pretty bad.
Who's doing that, right? Just a kid on the way to his friend's house. That's it. Doesn't need anything else. Not even a water bottle. Just needs his Switch, I guess.
Yeah, if you're into it enough. Hope your friends got
What's
the rest
the
of the
weirdest
things
way
you need.
you've transported game stuff?
The weirdest way? I don't really have a great story for this because I wasn't really into handhelds or anything, but I did have a friend that on his monitor, not his monitor, his PC case, he had he installed 2 hooks or whatever so that he could put a strap on it and like carry it easily.
Okay.
That wasn't a gaming thing so much as he was a comp sci engineer type person, so he needed his computer for a bunch of different stuff at that time. Like he moved it around a lot, and he was just moving all the time. But
Okay.
But like he also gamed, so it's still kind of is ridiculous either way. Just seeing somebody carry their computer tower like it's a bag, essentially.
It is definitely ridiculous. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Weirdest thing is, I keep all my console boxes, so if I ever need to transport them, I put them in their box.
I do
for
the
the most
same.
part.
Yep.
Yeah. Or I'll just put my Xbox in like my backpack when I brought it up north here. It's just in a backpack or my luggage.
Yeah.
But that's not that weird, I guess. Do you have a weird thing, John?
I mean, the weirdest thing I did was like in university, my like bag for my school books also had an Xbox and an NES in it. And that's about it.
That's pretty
Just
weird.
in case you needed to have something in class.
We used to take control of one of the classrooms after all the lectures were done, and we would hook up to the display projectors and play stuff there.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely did that as well, for sure. Times, man. I should have done that more than I did. I only did that for like a Rock Band tournament once. Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the show. This is the Top Down Perspective. Second and last one of the year.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's December 23rd. Maybe you're listening to this on Christmas. For you.
Merry
Sean
Christmas.
Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
And John, have you been playing anything?
Not in my spare time. The only things I really played were on stream this week, so I'll just give you my game clearing update.
Okay.
This week we did 2 games on Monday. We did Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Nice.
It's a great game.
That game hurts my eyes. Holy shit.
Sure. Yep.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dude, yeah, no, my eyes were like, I had to keep blinking by the end of the game because, like, was that one stage where I think you're against the wolves and the camera keeps zooming in and out constantly? Oh my god, that was the worst. But like,
is that the one where there's like a mech?
I think it's the one before the mech.
Okay.
It's where like you meet the gang and then they give you drugs or something.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That whole game is kind of you're on drugs, so I'm not sure if you actually do get any drugs, but I love the way that game looks. The soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah, no, the soundtrack was fantastic. The game was fun to play. A bit weird at times because sometimes I couldn't tell exactly where I positioned because the way it camera tracks you moves around a bit. I remember like the first person view on the motorcycle for some reason I felt like I was a bit more right or left than what I thought I was doing. But the game was fun otherwise. Like I said, it did hurt my eyes though. I found I was like my eyes were dry and I had to keep blinking constantly like hours after the game was done.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, we also played through right after that Mcdonald's Treasure Land Adventure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
This is on the Genesis. This is the first game the company Treasure ever made. So the Treasure made Gunstar Heroes, Ikaruga, Guardian Heroes, a bunch of games that I love and adore. And it's just really funny that their first game as a company was that.
Yeah. I had this game as a kid.
It was all right. That's it. That's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, you and I played the Gunk.
We did.
One of the very few December releases.
Yeah.
Still left. Did you beat it?
Yeah. It's a.
So did I.
Yeah, I was reading somebody say it's about 6 hours, and I don't know what game they were playing because I beat it in 4, and I took my time with it. It's very short.
How long to beat had it about 4.5. I didn't actually know what my time was. It wouldn't have been 6, but I did everything in there. I scanned got every scan, got every upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it all depends on how long the puzzles take you to do, right?
Yeah. And like, if you really even if you really scour it, you're not going to get another hour and a half out of that from 4.5 hours. So that, yeah, I don't know what they were on, but that is a very short game. It's good though. It looks pretty. It looks pretty good. I kind of like just the environments that they throw you in. It's pretty basic, but I mean, it's a fun mechanic. You're just vacuum stuff up and it's satisfying. So I like it.
Yeah, like you're these like two adventure women spaceship crew that land on a planet. There's like a big power source that they track, and they're like, hey, maybe we get a hold of whatever the power source is and we can make some money on it.
Yeah.
And as you're progressing around, you play a woman who has like a robot arm that's, I guess it's actually a vacuum arm, and you come across this gunk you can suck up, and it's pretty much just like a puzzle platformer. The puzzles are really not that hard, so
Yeah.
I even kind of hesitate to call it a puzzle platformer and more just a platformer.
Yep.
But yeah, pretty chill time. It's on Game Pass,
Yep.
so worth checking out. I personally wouldn't say like you need to put it to the top of your to play list.
Agreed.
But if you're looking for something to play, Gunk's not a bad time.
Yeah. It's totally serviceable and it doesn't last longer than it needs to. In fact, it could stand to maybe be just a little bit longer, but it's fine. For Game Pass, it's hard to complain. You just install it, have a decent night, and then uninstall it. It's fine.
Time.
Yeah.
And that's all I played this week that's worth talking about.
Yeah, I think I know what else you played. I finished up Forgotten City. I didn't put it here because I'm not going to talk about it, except people should play that game. I think it was woefully underlooked in a lot of conversations, and it won't be on our conversation for Game of the Year, is what I'll say.
Okay. I'll say, like, on my Twitter list, people really like it. So I'm happy to see that. But you came away positive then?
It's very good, yeah.
Did you get all the endings? I think there's like 4.
So I got 3, and then the last one I looked up, and I was doing what it said to do, and it wasn't triggering. And then it was... One of them is literally the exact same ending as another one, so I was like, fine, whatever.
I also got 3 of them because something wasn't triggering, so I wonder if it's the exact same one that we both weren't able to get for some reason.
Yeah, it's with one of the characters that you find later. Apparently there's one way to do it, and then another way to do it with like a group of other people or something, and I couldn't get it to work. I can't remember which way. I think I did it solo.
I don't fully remember specifically. It was a little while ago. I also had some achievements that wouldn't load for me when I would do the specific action and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a little bit of jank in there, for sure. There's a little jank. But I mean, there is one true canon ending, and that ending is fantastic. It made me so happy, and I didn't want to like ruin my last thoughts about that game trying to find like an ending that wouldn't trigger and just being frustrated, so I just stopped.
It's pretty crazy how close to 12 minutes that game came out. It's kind of doing a similar thing, but just like way better.
But yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I guess let's do a little bit of news. Short. We're flying through these. There's not a lot of news either. End of the year.
Thank God.
Heck yeah.
Well, a couple things about Telltale Games. So, if you remember at the Game Awards, Telltale Games announced an Expanse game, and the big question was kind of, who exactly is Telltale Games at the moment?
Yeah.
Came out. They put a quick little fact on their Twitter. That kind of answers. So, like, one of the questions here is, who are we? The answer they have is, we're industry veterans, former members, and fans of the original Telltale, honoring that legacy of great storytelling. We're using a new engine, Unreal, while substantially developing whole seasons at once. And yes, we announced The Wolf Among Us 2, Season 2, back in December of 2019.
Right.
So it's hard to tell exactly who from the previous Telltale it is. It is nice to see that they're doing a new engine, because I remember a lot of the complaints near the end of Telltale Games was that some of their games were starting to, run pretty poorly because they were still on the proprietary engine, and the games weren't like growing so much. But so I think the new engine is good for that. There was also, and what might be more interesting is there's an article over on Game Informer where they answered a whole bunch of questions about who they are, how this kind of became what it is. So if you're really curious about some behind the scenes stuff of what's going on with Telltale, go check out Game Informer. There's a good interview over there with the current CEO.
Okay.
Short one right here. Turtle Rock Studios has been acquired by Tencent.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Turtle Rock being Back for Blood most recently and originally Left 4 Dead. I don't have nothing really to say about that besides it's a thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And the last story we have here is that Hades has won a Hugo Award, which is the first video game to ever do that.
Okay. Interesting.
Those who don't know, the Hugo Award is an annual literary award presented to science fiction or fantasy works. And they branched out a bit to do a video game one. They've branched out into like other pieces of work before, not video game stuff, but outside of like novels and specific literature. So
the other games nominated
Hades.
that Hades beat out were Spiritfarer, The Last of Us 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Blaseball.
Yeah, kind of an odd choice. Like
It's
some of those are
interesting.
definitely like, pretty narrative focused. I could see like there's a story. Animal Crossing New Horizons?
Yeah.
What? And then also I'm shocked that Blaseball is there.
Yeah.
Like
it's weird.
Baseball is the weird quasi baseball. I guess that thing is all storytelling.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
okay.
That's all it
It's
is,
like-
in fact.
It's like kind of a game. It's just a weird. Good for Blaseball.
Yeah, why not, right? It's an honor to be nominated.
Yeah, that's the news. Like I said, it's the end of the year, so news isn't really happening anymore. I'd be surprised if there's any news next week.
Nice and quiet. Short podcast.
Woo!
It's looking like. Let's do some questions.
Yeah.
If you want to send in questions, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And I will read this first one. What is your favorite Christmas/Christmas themed video game to play? Note, hard rules apply, so any game that takes place during or around the holiday season counts, like Bayonetta 2 or several different Yakuza games.
Okay, sure. I mean, Parasite Eve, I replayed it this year. It's still one of my favorites.
If I had to pick a favorite, it's probably Ghost Trick.
Okay.
Is Ghost Trick around Christmas? I know Phoenix Wright 1 is.
Okay. I don't remember Phoenix Wright 1's setting, but because like Ghost Trick ends on like Christmas dinner with like the big turkey and they're all having dinner together. I think that's correct. Again, it's been a long time.
It's been so long, I don't remember. Yeah, but yeah, no. Christmas, almost Christmas, is a big running gag in one of the major cases in the first game.
Okay.
Miles Morales was fun.
I was gonna say that one. That's Christmas.
Oh yeah,
for
Miles
sure.
Morales, good one.
Yep.
Bayonetta 2, obviously solid game.
Yep.
Isn't Arkham City Christmas, and that's their reason for why there's nobody but bad guys on the street?
I think that's Arkham Knight you're thinking of.
Yeah, one of them
Arkham-
is. Yeah.
That Arkham Knight. Okay.
It's
guess
either Knight or it's what's the one where they like a different team?
It's Origins.
Year one.
It's Origins. Yeah.
Actually, it might be Origins. Okay, yeah, one of them. They're like, well, it's Christmas time, so everybody's at home, and that's why there's no humans around. Which is a hilarious idea.
I didn't play a lot of it, but Dead Rising 4.
Oh yeah, no, Dead Rising 4 was fun until you got to the ending.
Never got there.
Well, here's the thing: no one did because you had to buy a DLC to get the actual ending.
Okay, fair.
It's fucking stupid.
Fair
I enjoyed
enough.
that game, even though it was single. They got rid of the co-op. I was like, I know it's still a solid game. I still enjoy it. And it's like, yeah, to get the real ending, get the DLC. I'm like, it's not even out yet. Fuck you. I gotta wait a couple months for the actual ending. This is stupid.
Oh my
I don't remember
god.
that at all. I think I played through 4.
One of my favorites was in Hitman. There was one of the stages, and they did like a Christmas theme type thing for one of them with the wet bandits from Home Alone as like hit targets.
That's great.
I
Is
can't
that
remember.
one of the recent Hitman ones, or
Yeah, I think it
before
might have been 2016. I mean, I could just look
first
this up.
one then?
I think the Wet
Yeah.
Bandits thing was from 2. Hitman 2. But
Wet
modern Hitman 2.
The Wet Bandits one sounds familiar, and I'm wondering if that was just like a timed elusive target.
It was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think that was like an actual like story one.
No, but it happened at Christmas.
Because that story is like pretty serious, and just the Wet Bandits show up during that, like total world domination. What I'm saying, it's from 2. Man 1 was with the Chuckle Brothers. I don't remember that. What was the Chuckle Brothers?
I don't remember either.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Man, Hitman rocks. Do you remember how Hitman 3 came out this year?
No, because I didn't play it and I forgot it existed.
January. Came out in January.
Yeah. VGC Kenny writes, with the surge in VR, do you think that if Nintendo sat and iterated on the Virtual Boy from the mid-90s to around now and then released it, they could also get that in on that market?
They probably would have dominated it, to be perfectly honest, if they'd actually tried.
If they had
I think
tried.
they would have been. I think they would have lost too much money because, like, they had the Virtual Boy, then the N64 lost against the PlayStation. I wonder if they had kept doing it, if they would still be around.
I don't think they would have dominated it, because that would require them to be on the forefront of technology. They are not.
Mm. But I think they would definitely be in there. They would definitely be in the market.
I guess because they would be like, well, if you want to play the Mario VR game, you have to get Nintendo's thing. But if you want like best looking VR, definitely don't go to Nintendo.
Yeah. It might be kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I think they would. Suku writes in and says, have you ever hurt yourself while playing in VR? Yes. The first time I tried out the Oculus Rift, it was one of those sit-down demos.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like, you can walk into this house and look around. So I did that, and I saw a fireplace. So I tried to look down and into the chimney of the fireplace, and I smacked my head into the desk that was in front of me.
Oh, God.
I mean, that just shows how immersive it was. That you totally lost your surroundings.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't think I have.
Not yet. I'm sure it's coming.
I like how you lead with "not yet."
I'm sure it's coming.
Preparing yourself.
I feel like there's been a bunch of close calls, but the Guardian thing that pops up, usually when I get close to it, I like back off a little bit and recenter myself, and it's been okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if the PlayStation VR has a Guardian thing. However, when I use the VR, I can see a little bit like down my nose, so I can kind of see where I am a bit in the room.
Sure. Yeah.
I also have enough space. I haven't played many games where I'm like swinging around that much.
Right. That too.
I feel like most of the VR games, I think I've actually been just using a controller. It's more just like cool environment. I guess there was Beat Saber, and that was swinging.
Sure.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Just lost my spot. The Phantom Aegis. What are your favorite video games? Oh, we just answered this question. Rasterman writes, my bicycle just got stolen, and I can't do anything about it. When was the last time you had to make the best out of a shitty situation?
Well, let me tell you about the year that this giant pandemic happened. And, I mean, I know obviously he doesn't mean that. I've had my car stolen multiple times.
Your car stolen?
Twice, yeah. 2 different cars, but not the same one.
Jesus.
You get them back?
One of them I just left at the impound lot because it would have cost more to get it out and get it fixed than the car was even worth. And
So
I was like,
found.
It was found, and the police sent me a note saying like, you need to come here, and I just said, fuck that. Like, tear it up. I don't give a shit. That thing was like, that was like my first car ever, and it was like cheap even when I got it. I'm not going to pay a few $100 just to get it out and like $1,000 to get it fixed. So I just got
did they like break in and hotwire it?
Yeah, it was an older car, so all they had to do was they used a flathead screwdriver to punch in the lock, and then they just like punched in the drive shaft and just like turned the ignition that way to like force it on, basically.
Okay.
Lord.
Yes. So they would have had to, completely fix a whole bunch of shit because they wrecked in. So I just didn't bother. It's not worth it.
Second one, did you get that one back?
The second one I got back, they had just taken it for a joyride. I think I had a pack of smokes missing from like when I smoked in there, and like, yeah, pretty much the same thing. I got it fixed, and then I just ended up like getting rid of that vehicle a few months later anyway. So,
okay, I'm lucky. I've never had my car broken into. I've had my mom's car was broken into in Edmonton. Actually, I remember this. We parked it in kind of a weird area as we went to go to a dinner.
yeah.
And I remember being like uncomfortable with the area because I was like a kid at the time.
Yeah.
And we come back and we saw the side, the little like triangle mirror,
Yep.
or not mirror, window.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of those had been broken into, and my sister's Game Boy had been stolen. I remember thinking like, oh crap, I left my Game Boy and my my Game Boy fanny pack in here, and I was so sad that all my games were gone.
Yeah.
And then we got back to the hotel. Turns out I had left it in the hotel room.
Oh man.
Nice.
What about you, John? Any terrible car situations?
No car situations other than, car accidents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the worst for my car was when I hit a patch of black ice and slid into the side of a shuttle bus.
Fuck.
That sucked because that was me driving to the airport to fly home for Christmas, and I had basically like used my holiday like vacation day to get off of work, and then when I got back from that same trip after missed flight because car had to get impounded, etc., got fired.
Great.
Oh,
Got let go from my job the first day I got back. It sucked ass, dude. That was just
Wow.
like the shittiest winter. That was the shittiest Christmas break.
It does suck.
Go out for Christmas sore from hitting a damn bus and then get back and it's just like, well, I got to pay for getting my car out. Oh, I don't have a job anymore.
Was that here in the city or was this in
That was
Fort
here.
Mac?
That was my
Okay.
first job outside of university.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was like extra. Yeah. And it also happened during recession. So getting a second job was hard. That's actually what led to me working at the store that I hired Sean at. So.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, there you go. Congratulations. Worked out.
Yeah.
Worked out in the end.
The only thing I can think of about something actually getting stolen though was in university I was dating a girl, and she loaned me her father's bike, and
Oh, shit.
I don't remember what happened to it. If you want me to be perfectly honest, I'm pretty sure it got stolen from the backyard, but it happened like either right before or right after we had broken up. So it was like a weird thing of like, did she take
This
it and
broke
I
you
just
up?
wasn't aware? Was it actually stolen?
Oh man.
Did
Conspiracy.
she break up with you because it was stolen? She's like,
No.
Oh my god.
No, she we caught her making out with another girl, so we were just like, oh, well, I guess that's the end of that.
Okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
Write songs about this shit, man. I got my bike stolen when I moved to San Francisco, which I feel like is almost a rite of passage because everyone I know who like moves to the Bay Area, his bike gets stolen.
I remember this actually. I remember you talking about this.
Oh, it sucked.
it
I remember
happened.
just coming out of the movie theater. What did I had watched? It was a movie. It had Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
Departed,
I can't remember.
or not Departed.
Oh,
The one Revenant, the bear.
oh, it was not Revenant. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, came out of the theater and the tire had still been there because I didn't realize my
Right.
bike at the time had like quick release tires and I locked the tire to the thing.
Yeah.
So they just came, flipped the thing, and took my bike. Man, that sucked. And I just took a tire home with me. I held on to that tire for a while because I just didn't know what to do with it. Eventually, I threw it out.
Emotional support tire.
Um, But yeah, that sucked because I had that bike for a few years. My mom got me that bike for a birthday present. That was the most expensive bike I've ever owned, even to this day. And now I just bought a shitty bike, and no one's stolen that one yet. So.
All right, let's keep the bad news train going with Hebrew Lantern's question. What do you do when you've gotten shitty news? You guys know it's Christmas, right? Like, you guys wrote into the Christmas show.
The happiest time of the year.
I feel bad if everybody's Christmas time is shitty at the moment. All right, shitty news.
I feel like we've all had a shitty Christmas at the very least.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like in our lives, you mean, right? Not like this year necessarily.
No, not necessarily this year, but
Right, okay.
If I've had a bad day, I'm probably having chicken nuggets for dinner because I don't have to like think or do anything. I can just throw them in the toaster oven and do absolutely no prep work.
What do you dip them in? What's your go-to dip?
It's like hot sauce. One of my many hot sauces.
Sure.
I'll listen to music. I'll like shut down for a bit, kind of process. Maybe just play a game and zone out. Just try to process it as best I can. Maybe get some comfort food or something like that.
I definitely do the game thing, just like escape. Also, when I feel a little bit better, I'll like Google the problem just so I know that like other people have had it. And one day I know I'm going to have the problem no one else has had, and it's going to be the worst day of my life.
But then you're going to have to make the forum post.
I'm going to be the one.
For that problem.
Yeah.
And then you got to make sure that after you find the solution, you delete it like 2 weeks later so anyone who Googles the actual solution can't find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not talking from experience of trying to fix any known tech problem.
Oh my God. It's so annoying, especially when they come back and they're just like, hey, got it working. Thanks, guys. You're just like, what did you do?
Yeah, I always like seeing the response to that being, yeah, wait, what was the answer?
And then the response to that,
like, oh, never mind, I found it. It's like, but I'm still looking for the option.
And then the response to that's usually bump or something.
Yeah.
Also go to the gym. Go to the gym really like clears my head, and it'll turn like a lot of the time it's like, man, I just need to go to the gym and stop thinking about whatever's going on.
Like a walk, any physical activity helps with that for sure.
Anything that breaks the monotony.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was Hebrew. Last question from Linebeck. If you could replace the traditional Christmas turkey with any other meat, what would it be and how would you prep it? It's gotta be something that you think would impress your family and friends.
I mean, this exists. It's a ham. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has got to be something we can do.
I've baked a ham from just like nothing. I can do it.
If I couldn't figure it out, Reese could help me, but I can follow recipes. I just usually don't.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think what would be the easiest. What could I get done? Because I've never baked a ham, but I mean, I can follow a recipe too. But like, what would I want?
The hardest part of the ham is actually cutting it after. Off the bone.
Oh, really?
Jesus. Yeah, it's a pain.
Okay. Yeah, ham would be good. I would love, just if we go like the pork route, some carnitas.
Okay.
Like kind of,
yeah, sure.
So it's like kind of shredded.
Like a pulled pork you could do in like
kind
a
of a pulled
pot
pork, and then I'll make sandwiches. I'd be way into that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. Definitely made like ready to cook carnitas from like Costco. I'm sure it's way harder to actually have a chunk of ham and make it into the carnitas.
No.
So
slow cooker, and then you take a fork and then tear it apart. Pretty easy.
Okay, I gotta get those like Wolverine claw ones.
Yep.
That they sell in like the kitchen store.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for questions. If you'd like to send in a question for the last show of the year, and I'm just gonna say you should, because I have a feeling that episode's gonna be mostly questions.
Or unless don't send in anything, so it's the shortest episode we've ever done. Really,
episode 600, the shortest show we've ever done.
That's true. Also, next week's episode.
Which battle?
600.
Which battle do you want to choose? What side do you want to be on?
Updownperspective@gmail.com is the email address, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Forgotten City.
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
I'll give it to the Gunk. Gunk is real good. So things to look out for. Our Spider-Man No Way Home episode of TDP went live. That's our longest episode yet. I might say it's our best episode yet. But that might also be because it was probably the best movie we've watched.
Yeah. I mean, that's why.
Wow.
We don't have a huge backlog of great movies either, though. So, Christmas of the Ghostland is a little, is not exactly up there.
Yeah, followed by Venom 2. If you haven't filled out the Game of the Year survey for our community Game of the Year thing, for our Game of the Year episode, do that. There's links to it on the Twitter. There's links to it in the Discord, so definitely fill it out. And I just recently put up the January TDP Plus poll, what next month's game is, so go vote on that. The next episode is live. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.
Everybody.
Bye.